The 1993-94 season ended the way it began, on a wave of optimism. Borough narrowly missed out on the playoffs, but they signed off with a superb 5-2 win at Charlton. 10 days later, Ayresome Park celebrated the arrival of new player boss Brian Robson, and clearly Borough fans were thrilled by the start of a new era. By landing the former England skipper from Premier League champions Manchester United, the club's dynamic new regime had confirmed their exciting ambitions for Middlesbrough Football Club.
I'm really going to look forward to managing Middlesbrough and playing for Middlesbrough. Let's hope it's going to be a successful time. I don't want to promise too much at the start, but let's hope that somewhere along the line we can get back in the Premier League where Middlesbrough deserves to be.
The first evidence of the size of Borough's ambitions was unveiled 3 days before Christmas, when Borough revealed the plans for a superb new stadium. Costing £16 million and with the potential for a capacity of 42,000, this was the club's confident vision of the future, aimed at making Middlesbrough the Wembley of the North.
I think it takes time to develop and time to build anything. I don't think the club has necessarily lacked ambition, it's lacked the ability to achieve its ambition. We've achieved something today, we've achieved a super stadium. What we now need to do is work to building a super team.
The man in charge at the start of the season, of course, was Lenny Lawrence, hoping to make a speedy return to the top flight in his third year as manager. There were grounds for optimism, but it turned out to be a real roller coaster season.
Hignett, Moore, all there to have a go. Hignett tries it. Great goal, Craig Hignett. You won't get a much better finish than that.
This exclusive video is packed with all the highlights from an eventful season. From Ayresome Park to Pisa, where Borough fans enjoyed a midweek break in picturesque surroundings. Before the season began, Borough made no major signings to boost their promotion bid, but there were departures. Willie Falconer was signed by Sheffield United, and Jimmy Phillips moved on to Bolton Wanderers. Alan Kernaghan soon followed the exodus and a £1.2 million move to Manchester City, but the Borough skipper did start the season at Ayresome Park. The club's immediate future was in the hands of the youngsters. England's 19-year-old youth star Jamie Pollock signed a new 2-year contract, the local lad opting to hang on to his roots. Craig Hignett, the boy from Crewe, was set to prove his mark in the best possible manner. A 4-goal blast against Brighton sent his confidence soaring, while the real babe in the Borough lineup was 18-year-old Alan Moore, arguably the hottest young property in the North East. The target was promotion for the second time in 3 seasons, and optimism was destined to soar as Borough made a scorching start to the season. On the opening day, 3 teenagers lined up for Borough in the big kick-off at Notts County. Jamie Pollock, Richard Liburd and Alan Moore, who was destined for a spectacular start to the season.
Wilkinson running into space, good ball from Wilkinson. Oh, he scored! A superb goal from Paul Wilkinson. Set up by John Hendry. And all that as a result of a mistake in the middle of the park by Phil Turner. Moore, good run from Moore. Shot first time, oh, tremendous goal. What a killer blow right on the half-time whistle. Again, slack defending at the back. Alan Moore picked that ball up halfway inside the county half, squeezed his way through 2 defenders, and then hit a wicked left-foot shot from just outside the box that flew into the bottom left-hand corner of Steve Cherry's goal. Cross comes in, not a good one. Back with Moore, tries a first-time shot. Oh, it's there! Unbelievable. From literally out of nothing, the ball came back to Alan Moore. He looked up, swung the left boot, and Steve Cherry, 6 on the edge of the 6-yard box, could only watch it sail over his head. It was a mistake, and McSwiggan's got a chance. He's taken it too far. Pulled down, penalty. Mark Draper's got the chance to put County back in the game. He does. At the moment, but he should still be able to get the distance. There it goes. Flick on, it's in! Gary Lund.
Despite County's late fight back, Borough were always good value for their 3 points. The opening home match came against one of the pre-season promotion favourites, Derby County. The Rams had kicked off with a 5-0 thrashing of Sunderland on the opening day, but Borough soon brought the Rams back to earth with a bump.
Ball chipped towards Wilkinson, the far post, the head comes in. Tommy Wright, the ball still free, driven in, Middlesbrough an early lead. And it's skipper Alan Kernaghan who gives Middlesbrough that lead. The ball was driven in from the far side, headed down. The first shot blocked, it fell to Kernaghan, and Kernaghan gleefully hammered the ball into the side netting. Only 3.5 minutes gone at Ayresome Park, their first home game of the First Division. It's Middlesbrough 1, Derby County 0. Far side swinging in. Wilkinson's head goes up, the ball falls to Mustoe. Mustoe half hit the shot, still isn't clear. County struggling to clear the lines, and Middlesbrough looking to capitalise. Moore, oh that's brilliant from the youngster. Moore, first time shot just wide. Morris. Again chipping the ball towards the penalty spot. Again Wilkinson beaten, referee getting in the way. Oh, that's excellent, Morris. Hendry drives on in low, it takes a deflection, it's there! Whether it was Craig Hignett or whether the deflection came off one of the County players, or it looks as though Paul Wilkinson is claiming it. Wilkinson goes towards the crowd, but the end result, Middlesbrough leading by 2-0. That was excellent work between Morris and Hendry. Hesitation in the defence, the ball over the top of a couple of outstretched legs and into the back of the net. Ball tripped over by Hendry, it's there! Oh, that was superb! The ball chipped in, Hendry, goalkeeper off the line. Middlesbrough 3, Derby County 0.
Well, Lenny, you said quite plainly yesterday that Derby County would be an acid test and you'd find out how good you are. After that little show, how good are you?
Well, today we were very good. We were by far the better team in all departments, from the start to the finish, really. In the second half, in the first half, the only thing that concerned me was that after half an hour it was only 1, you know, but fortunately we got the second before half-time. It's a thoroughly professional performance. You know, it was commitment and the physical side of it and the work rate was right, and we played some terrific football as well. Now, Derby have got a lot of experienced players in this league, a lot of money's been spent there, so they're everybody's favourites, so that can only be a good sign for us at this present time, but we're not getting carried away. Barnsley away Tuesday, tough game, and, you know, we'll be in the right frame of mind for it.
2 wins out of 2 made it a perfect start, and Borough continued to set the pace at the top of the table in the midweek encounter at Barnsley, despite an early breakthrough by the home side. Anderson the scorer after just 10 minutes. Borough's equaliser came on the stroke of half-time when young Alan Moore made it 1-1. Early in the second half, the talented teenager added his second to put Borough ahead. Then came a double from John Hendry that wrapped up the points in the dying minutes. First after 82 minutes. Then, 3 minutes later, Hendry completed the scoring. This time Moore supplied the cross, and Hendry turned home a flying header. Borough were firing on all cylinders. New sensation Alan Moore had landed 4 goals in 3 starts, and Borough arrived at Molineux in confident mood. An early breakthrough set up a riveting contest. Just 3 minutes were on the clock when John Hendry claimed his 4th goal of the season. Borough fans were still celebrating when Steve Bull set up David Kelly for Wolves' swift equaliser. The match was still only 9 minutes old when a mistake let in Jeff Thomas to put the home side ahead. 2-1 was how it remained until the 83rd minute, and then came a brilliant late fight back by Borough. Henry made it all square with his 5th goal in 3 matches, his 2nd goal of the afternoon. Then 5 minutes from time came the winner from Jamie Pollock. A superb long-range effort, bringing an exciting contest to a dramatic end. Jamie Pollock's late winner meant Borough had completed their best start to a league campaign for 68 years. In the Anglo-Italian Cup, the trip to Grimsby Town finally marked the end of Borough's winning start to the season. With 34 minutes gone, Clive Mendonca opened the scoring. Borough weren't behind for long. Their equaliser came early in the second half when John Henry made it all square at 1 goal apiece. But this time Borough's fight back was not to end in victory. Instead, it was the home side who stole the winner late in the game. Tony Dawes wrapped up victory for Grimsby with a deciding goal 9 minutes from time. At least Borough's first defeat of the season had done nothing to damage their flying start in the league. At the end of August, Borough were the only team in the First Division with a 100% record, ahead of Charlton on goals scored and with a game in hand. Meanwhile, in the Anglo-Italian Cup, the next game was at home to Barnsley. John Henry sent Borough on the way to victory with the opening goal midway through the first half. After the break came a double from Paul Wilkinson, who landed his first goal in the 51st minute. Five minutes later, Wilkinson wrapped up a comfortable 3-0 win from the penalty spot after a foul on Hignett. It was a win that eventually proved decisive in earning qualification for the international stage of the competition. Meanwhile, back in the league, Borough were in for a disappointing decline. The first crack appeared at Roots Hall, where Ricky Otto stole a fortunate winner for the home side in the 85th minute. Barry Fry's Southend had condemned Borough to their first league defeat of the season, allowing Charlton to move 2 points clear at the top of the table. At home to newly promoted Stoke came the chance to go back to the top of the table, but it was not a night to take anything for granted against Lou Macari's 2nd Division champions. In fact, Stoke made Borough suffer in wretched conditions, and Steve Pears was left stranded 3 minutes before half-time when Carruthers cashed in to give the home side the lead, a lead they extended 7 minutes from time.
Borough must try and find an equaliser somehow. That's easily cut out, and it will fall to Dave Regis, who in turn finds Orlickson. Stoke very dangerous on the break. Orlickson moving forward well, finds Bannister. Dangerous moments for Borough, and it's 2. 85 minutes gone, and Stoke City, I think, have wrapped up 3 points. Borough, can they find a consolation goal here? I think it's going to be Craig Hignett. He's shaping up. Lovely goal. Excellent free kick from Craig Hignett. And Borough, maybe, can salvage something from this game.
Craig Hignett's first goal of the season in the dying seconds came much too late for Borough to salvage a point. Skipper Alan Kernaghan, meanwhile, had played his final game for Borough. After weeks of speculation, Lenny Lawrence had finally lost his tug of war with Manchester City. An improved £1.2 million bid by the Premier League club had proved successful. There was more frustration against rock-bottom Luton Town. The Hatters held Borough to a goalless draw, making it 3 games without a win. After 2 defeats and 1 draw, came the chance to get back on the right track against Brighton. The first leg of this Coca-Cola Cup second-round tie provided a goals feast for the Essendon Park faithful.
Pollock helps it forward. Now this looks promising for Middlesbrough. Alan Moore. It's a measured cross too. Picks out Hignett. That's 1-0. Very simple move, but a very effective one. Alan Moore was released down the inside left channel, and this superb cross picked out Craig Hignett on the back post, and his finish was exemplary. Middlesbrough lead by a goal to nil after a quarter of an hour. Musto. Oh, neatly done by Middlesbrough. Wilkinson. Now Hignett is onside. He's already scored 1. And scores his 2nd. was a picture book goal by Middlesbrough as they sweep into a 2-0 lead. It was a tremendous ball by Wilkinson into the path of Hignett, who ghosted into the inside right channel and scores number 2. Hignett, the only player to score in Middlesbrough's last 3 games, now scores 3 in this game. And here he is again. Slips the ball to Henry. It's a chip to the back post. Moore. It's in again. Would you believe it? 4 for Hignett. It's the Craig Hignett show. Well, there was embarrassment of riches for Middlesbrough on the far post. First Moore, lovely touch there. Wilkinson couldn't stretch and reach the ball, but Hignett could. Mile. Kennedy unable to keep the ball in play. Here's Derek White. Hendry is onside. Here's Hendry. Oh, that's brilliant finishing by John Hendry. 5-0 now to Middlesbrough. It's their most emphatic win in this competition at home. His 8th goal of the season, and his determination to succeed here was exemplary.
A commanding performance by Borough brought a decisive end to a run of 3 matches without a win, and no doubt about who the man of the match was.
Well, Craig, many congratulations on not only a hat-trick but 4 goals, and I understand that's not the first time you've hit 4 in one game.
No, it's not. The game before I came to Middlesbrough, I was lucky enough to score 4 in an FA Cup tie against Wrexham. So, you know, I'm very pleased to score 4 again tonight.
You were likely to score every time you got the ball.
Yeah, I felt like that. You have spells in matches, you know, where you feel as though you're going to score. And the first half tonight, I felt like if the ball was over the top, I was going to score every time.
Now, it hasn't been an easy time for this club in the last 3 matches, and you've lost an outstanding player in Alan Kernahan. What exactly has gone right in the last 90 minutes or so?
I wouldn't say anything's gone right. You know, we've had a sticky week with Alan going and things that have gone on behind the scenes. But, I mean, we've played well tonight and we've scored 4 goals. And at the start of the season, if you ask the fans, they'll say we were playing brilliant anyway. So we'll just put that 3 games as a bad patch and get on with the rest of the season.
Hignett's 4-goal strike against Brighton had helped Borough notch their biggest win of the season. But in the league, there was further frustration, despite an opening goal by Derek White at the start of the second half. Borough were denied their first success in 4 matches when West Brom equalised. Bob Taylor's 4th goal of the season came just 2 minutes later. A disappointing run of 4 league matches without a win had yielded just 2 points out of a possible 12. That meant Borough were down to 5th place, 2 points behind Leicester in the top 3.
White chips the ball over. Moore to Hendry, controls, tries to flick it across, looking for Wilkinson. The head from Wilkinson, but it's saved by Ward. The keeper Kane decided after about 3 or 4 yards to stop and go back. And Wilkinson's header lacked the power needed to send it past Ward. Ball chip forward, Hendry controls to Wilkinson, chance for Wilkinson! Middlesbrough leading a goal to 0. Hendry controlled the long ball forward, just skipped it inside to Paul Wilkinson, and Wilkinson, with Ward standing rooted to the spot, fired low into the corner. Middlesbrough 1, Leicester City 0. Ball out to Ormondroyd. Leicester City coming back into this game, but not if Ormondroyd keeps playing like that. Pollock along the floor to Wilkinson. First time layoff. Hignett to release Hendry, and Hendry can run a goal. He does have the yards. John Hendry fires the ball in. Middlesbrough 2-0 into the lead. John Hendry sitting on the floor waiting for congratulations, but I think he's hurt himself in the process. The Middlesbrough players celebrate, the fans celebrate. John Hendry's going to need some treatment, but the ball laid through started with Paul Wilkinson playing a short ball back to Hignett. Over the top the ball came. Hendry ran through, fired a low shot past Gavin Ward. Middlesbrough leading 2-0. all a useful 3 points? Is that the way the players are looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a big game for us tonight. We hadn't won for 3 or 4 games, even though we've got a couple of draws. But we're just glad to get a result. And the main thing is that we're back on top of the league and we're looking forward again.
How important are those two things? First of all, being back on top of the league and winning again.
Well, the most important thing to be back on top of the league will be in the last week in May. But we've got to make sure that we keep going now. It's a long, hard season. We've got a lot of games, and we've had a lot of games just lately. So it was a good performance tonight.
In the meantime, Borough's win against Leicester took them back to the top of the tree. A superior goals tally meant Lenny Lawrence's men have reclaimed pole position from Tranmere Rovers. Just 1 point now separated the top 5. The month of October began with a home encounter with Birmingham City, and Borough got off to a flying start.
Andy Saville back defending, former Hartlepool player. Mustoe. Moen through to Hendry. Chance for Hendry to shoot from range. Deflection. Middlesbrough take the lead on 11.5 minutes. The through ball to Hendry. Hendry under pressure from 2 players, but he still managed to find enough space to fire a low right foot shot, which did take a deflection. And Kevin Miller could only watch agonisingly as the ball trickled past and into the back of the net. Hignett and Pollock combining well. Pollock's ball away only as far as Chris White as Birmingham City come forward yet again. Ball played through to chance for Pesci Salida, and it's the equaliser for Birmingham City. It's Birmingham City, the brighter of the 2 sides at the moment. Scott Hiley, ball driven in by Hiley to Saville to Pesci Salida. Save, but it's there. He's followed in, Paul Pesci Salida, Canadian international, and he's delighted. There's no use going a goal ahead and just hoping that that'll do. Wilkinson's flick, Hendry's control, chance for Little Scotch. This Little Scott to work a bit of magic, flicks the ball in, comes to Alan Moore, and he's equalised. Middlesbrough.
Moore's late equaliser spared Borough their second home defeat of the season, but 2 lost points meant a fall from 1st to 4th.
At the end of the day, we didn't impose ourselves on the game. After 10 minutes going 1 up, you'd think it would be time to really storm forward, but we played at a sloppy exhibition match type of pace, and it was no surprise when Birmingham got back in it, really. They looked dangerous on the break. We were lucky that we were only 2-1 down, and to be fair, we rallied a little bit and snatched an equaliser, but it was as unprofessional a performance today as it was professional on Wednesday.
In the Coca-Cola Cup, Borough travelled to the Goldstone ground for the second round tie already under wraps. 5-0 up from the first leg, all that remained to be settled was the margin of victory. It turned out to be another stroll. Paul Wilkinson opened the scoring on the night after 26 minutes. 10 minutes later it was 2-0, Craig Hignett set up by John Hendry. After the break, Hendry helped himself to goal number 3, a fine strike that made it 8-0 an aggregate. Nogan finally landed Brighton's consolation in the 76th minute to make it 3-1 at the Goldstone. Borough had stretched their unbeaten run to 6 matches.
It'll be interesting to see if Lenny Lawrence has got it right with his tactical talk at half-time. I think even more important, whether Glenn Roeder can instill a bit more ambition into the home side, Watford.
Yes, I think Glenn will have had the more intense half-time talk. I think there was more wrong, with Watford than there was with Middlesbrough in that first half.
Morris and Stamp. And Stamp gets it into that area. Hendry brings it down, swivels, the shot's coming in, and a flying stop, and already more excitement in 30 seconds of the second half than in 45 minutes in the first half. One for Hendry to chase again at the edge of the area, but Watford getting bodies around and hitting the long and hopeful ball. And here's Furlong, surely now, Paul Furlong! Would you believe it? He looked a certain scorer there. Hitting Watford. Might yet rebound, and Dyer, and Furlong's through the middle again. He's spurred one chance, he's not spurred this one! Furlong gets his reward, having hit the upright earlier with an even better chance. This time he makes no mistake. A smashing goal on 73 minutes from Furlong, and here's an equaliser, maybe, no. Hignett off the upright, and Middlesbrough could have been back all square within 60 seconds. Wilkinson signalling he wants it round about the penalty spot. Stamp underneath it. Watford able to bring themselves away. Dyer against Morris, and Bruce Dyer is trying to get past Morris. He has done. Can he get past the keeper as well? 2-0. That's it now. Bruce Dyer. The points are in the bag for Watford and their fans.
Borough had missed their chance to move back into the top two, and 48 hours later came the further distraction of a midweek trip to Pisa. Whatever the merits of the Anglo-Italian Cup, many Borough fans clearly saw it as an opportunity not to be missed. The beauty of this famous city on the Italian west coast is certainly impressive. Plenty of opportunities for the happy snapper, but not so many opportunities on the pitch, despite an opening goal by Robbie Mustoe. Borough's Italian adventure ended in a disappointing 3-1 defeat. Nonetheless, the fans had enjoyed their midweek expedition.
Okay, the result's gone, but I mean, let's say the only bonus was, I mean, let's say we'd never had anyone sent off because, I mean, and indeed any injuries, because it could easily have been like that.
Tell me about conditions out there. Were the little niggling fouls that you couldn't see from the touchline?
Very much so. I mean, let's say the old, Italian tricks of the shirt pulling. I mean, late sort of clickings of your heels and elbows and what have you. But I mean, it was just one of those things. I mean, that we had to accept and get on with. All credit to lads. I mean, they did do that.
Quick word about the fans, because a few people surprised by the amount of Middlesbrough fans who made it across here.
That's right. I mean, we sort of come into the town today and we've seen them all, and it was nice to see so many. And they've done brilliant, actually.
Any feelings of depression were shrugged aside in the best possible manner against rival Sunderland.
Mustoe. Hignett now, a bit of a clear run here. Hignett might want to have a go himself. Hignett, and it's a goal for Middlesbrough. Craig Hignett. A fine solo effort there, and Borough ahead. 7 minutes gone.
Well, it all started from a crossfield ball where Hignett challenged with Richard Ord, knocked Ord over, and then Hignett is so dangerous running in the box there, turns Andy Melville, hits the ball with his left foot, and Alec Chamberlain might just be, there's the challenge, was it a foul, was it not? I don't think it was a foul. Hignett's now got a free run on goal, takes it on the inside of Andy Melville, and with his weaker foot, strikes it under the hand of Alec Chamberlain.
Ball used to operating at right back. Normally seen in the heart of the defence, and that's Howie the target. Howie with a little knock on, and Goodman, a superb strike from Tom Goodman, and that's the equaliser for Sunderland. Goodman again pulls out a cracker. Melville going to get something rather more straightforward, but Goodman got there. Now Mustoe, and that's fallen well for Hendry, who let the ball do the running, and here goes John Hendry. Hendry, 2-1. John Hendry, yet again. You can't give him a chance like that.
Well, tremendous finish from John Hendry, but the Sunderland defence, and Terry Butcher was off the bench there. He couldn't believe what his central two had done. Andy Melville stepped up and Bennett stayed in, and it played John Hendry onside. Bennett tried a desperate tackle, but there's Hendry, confident finishing 1 against 1. It's Bennett that's played him onside. Bennett then tries to tackle him. He has a little stumble there, but he manages to regain his balance, look up, and with power drives it past Alec Chamberlain.
But these two defences have really got to get a grip here, because they're being punctured through the middle far too regularly for either manager's liking. And again, threading through the middle, and again it's Hendry, and it's Wilkinson, and that's 3, and Wilkinson punishes Sunderland now.
Well, to be fair to Sunderland there, they were probably a little bit unfortunate there that the bounce went to Wilkinson. They were opened up in the first place, and there was a lovely through ball there, and onto it's Hendry there. They managed to get a block on it, but there it just bounces so kindly for Paul Wilkinson. He goes, thank you very much indeed. I'll side foot those in all day. Good tackle by Atkinson, and there it drops to Wilkinson, and Alec Chamberlain, no hope at all there.
Now Wilkinson jumping and finding Hignett. Forward now for Hendry, who's come out wide. Can he get the cross in as well? Looking for Wilkinson! Another classic Paul Wilkinson goal. Hendry, Wilkinson, the double act again, and it's 4-1 now for Middlesbrough.
That's a great Paul Wilkinson goal, and full credit again to John Hendry. The two of them celebrated there, and quite rightly. Good play out on that right-hand side by John Hendry. Turns his marker, looks up with his left foot, feels it's the back post, and Wilkinson, nearly at full stretch, has to throw himself. There we go, lovely ball in with his left foot. Wilkinson totally unmarked at the far post.
There's nothing like a taste of derby delight to put a smile on the face of any fan. Borough's stunning demolition of their rivals from Roker Park was a perfect tonic. Borough arrived at the new Den 5 points behind leaders Charlton, but with the game in hand.
Well, he had to do that. Hendry was lurking, so Van den Houw decided the only safe place for the ball was up in the stands. And Middlesbrough have their first corner.
I see all these as real danger, John, because they've got several players who are outstandingly big and very, very good in the air, and good movement here. Millwall will have to be at their best.
Yes, Moen and White both go up for corners. Morris is arriving now as well, and it's a firm header from Wilkinson. Flying save from Keller. What a magnificent, superb reflex save that is from the American Keller. Hignett looks to take advantage now. Another ball in, and a stooping clearance from Stevens. He'd lost his footing actually, so he was a little lucky. And now it breaks for Hignett. And Middlesbrough trying to profit from these breaks. He's done it again. Fabulous stuff from Casey Keller. Wilkinson seemed a certain scorer. He was 3 yards out, and Keller had to make his third fantastic stop already in this game. Chipped instinctively out to Barber. 3 men up around the edge of the area, floated in towards Kennedy. The chance must be here for Rays. There, and it's Kennedy. Alex Ray poked it into the middle, but I'm sure Kennedy got the final touch. It's another Borough throw. This one's taken more promptly. Hignett, Millwall just caught sleeping for a moment. Hignett can get a good ball in for Borough here, and Hendry to no goal. Could well go down as the second own goal of the match. It was John Hendry who got the shot in on goal, but the ball flew into Millwall's net off Phil Barber. No doubt about that one.
Now, that all come off the throw-in, as you rightly said, John. Very simple throw-in, and I thought Millwall just weren't geared up on that one at all.
An 89th minute red card for Derek White was too late to hurt Borough. In the third round of the Coca-Cola Cup, Borough had been paired with Sheffield Wednesday.
John Hendry, brilliantly polished off. Wednesday caught cold. Hendry celebrates. He may have hurt himself in the process, but he'll have a big grin all over his face. And that's why. Here's Wilkinson again. Nudged back for Hignett. He loses out, and Waddle will hit it first time. Tremendous ball from Waddle. It might have opened the door for Carlton Palmer. Yes!
Carlton Palmer's stunning late equaliser left Borough ruining their missed chances against Wednesday's 10 men. There was further frustration 3 days later at home to struggling Peterborough when Ayresome Park was silenced by an early blow. Dominic Iorfa gave the Posh a 10th minute lead. Borough were well below par, but they did come back midway through the first half when Robbie Mustoe made it all square. The damage repaired, Borough were odds on to complete the fight back, but surprisingly, that was how it ended. Peterborough held on for their first away point, and Lenny Lawrence's men had lost ground on pacesetters Charlton. Now back in 5th place, Borough were 6 points behind the leaders. It was a sign of much worse to follow. A further 8 matches came without a win for Borough, and 6 of those matches ended in defeat, including this one at Fratton Park, where John Durning completed a 2-0 win for Portsmouth. But there was no disgrace in a battling display in the Coca-Cola Cup replay against Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough.
It's a good ball through there. Scored for Wednesday by Gordon Watson. And just when it looked as though Borough had seen off the early pressure, they're punished. Oh, Fleming looking for Kavanagh, a chance here for Kavanagh, great save Pressman, and it's a goal for Borough, the equaliser. Mustoe. Well, they've come back and Robbie Mustoe has equalised in sensational style. Kavanagh had the first opportunity, Pressman beat it away, and Mustoe got a foot to it. It came off Andy Pearce as well. I'm sure Mustoe will claim that one. The marking was all over the shop. Kavanagh's effort beaten away. Mustoe, a touch there off the defender Pearce. Sinton delivering again. Palmer. Goal! Carlton Palmer. Well, the game perhaps deserved a goal like that, but Palmer, the man who earned the replay, pulls out a stunning strike, and that is cruel, cruel indeed for Middlesbrough. Sinton delivering the ball, who else? And Palmer, what a first-time shot!
The depression continued as Borough failed to score in the next 4 matches. A 1-0 home defeat by Bolton came in between 2 fruitless Anglo-Italian Cup ties against Ancona and Ascoli.
He's quite a bit away from getting fit. McAteer's cross, McGinley's partner scores a goal, and he's broken the ice on a frosty Ayrton Park, and he'll feel a little warmer now.
That defeat meant Borough ended November back in 13th place. 2 months after topping the table, promotion hopes had taken a nosedive. A goalless draw at Bristol City came next, and worse was to follow. When Borough finally ended their goal drought at the Victoria Ground, Andy Peake's 70th minute strike was no more than a consolation. Stoke City still ended up 3-1 winners, and that made it 11 matches without a victory. Borough, top of the table at the end of September, has slipped back into 15th position in the Ensley League. But the gloom finally lifted in the last league match before Christmas.
6.5 minutes gone. The first corner of the game. Gannon to take it left-footed. Going to curl away from Cherry in goal. The ball headed on by Wilkinson. Middlesbrough take the lead. It was so simple. The ball crossed over by Gannon, curling away from Cherry. Wilkinson with a header down over. And it's young Alan Moore stooped very low indeed from only a couple of yards out to head the ball underneath Cherry and into the back of the net. To Kavanagh, turns, fires the ball in, the first goal of the season for Kavanagh, and that all stemmed from Alan Moore's run on the far side. Received the ball in his own half, turned Crooks and outpaced him, and then picked his cross to Kavanagh, whose first touch was to control, spun round and fired the shot past Cherry, unstoppable. Middlesbrough 2, Notts County 0. Clearance by Cherry. Peake plays the ball through. Kavanagh's onside, looking to drive it from distance, and Kavanagh makes no mistake whatsoever from the edge of the penalty area. It was a poor clearance by Steve Cherry. 38 minutes of this first half gone. It fell to Kavanagh. The ball played through by Andy Peake, who had scored from distance. For a moment I thought Peake may decide to have a go himself, but Kavanagh got the ball under control, aimed his sights at the far side and fired it past Cherry. Middlesbrough 3, Notts County 0. It's the youngsters that seem to be doing it, because what is it now, 12 games without a win, and you pop up Alan Moore gets the first, he sets your second one up, and you also knock the third one.
That's right. It just seems to be happening that way at the moment. There's nothing there's no finger can be pointed to it. You know, it just seems to be us who are scoring. It's just as well, really. But I mean, I'm sure Wilco is going to notch a few, and Robbie Mustoe will. So we'll see how it goes.
You've been working hard up front with nothing at the end of it. Today you grabbed 2.
That's right. The Gaffer seems to think now that I'm a centre forward, I don't really mind as long as I'm playing. I scored today, so I'm very, very happy with that.
It's pleasing to see that the 2 youngsters have scored the goals, but it was a solid team performance. To be fair, Notts County weren't the best opposition we faced all the year, but we've lost to worse teams and beaten better teams. So at least it's a big step in the right direction, and hopefully, you know, that'll get their confidence back a bit.